Hey, what is going on, guys? Fetsus here, and today I'm bringing you guys another one of these longer, more thought-provoking commentaries. Quickly, before I get into the topic, I'm going to discuss with you guys the gameplay in the background, which is an 87-9, completely solo double MOAB I got, playing on Hardhat using the MP7. Final score was, I think, 87-9, something like that. I also died 4 off the triple this game, which was kind of upsetting, but still a cool gameplay nonetheless. I'm not sure if I leave in that 20 gun streak, but because I'm going to record the commentary and then cut down the gameplay accordingly. But kind of want to get into the topic now, which is depression. And some of the things I'm going to be saying in here are from personal experience. Not all of it. I'm not going to tell you which things I've gone through and whatnot, because I don't really feel completely comfortable opening up to you guys about all this stuff just yet. Because there's still a few things that I need to sort out. But some of the other things that I mention in here are just from things that I've witnessed other people do and other people feel. So, depression. It's a word that's thrown out a lot in today's society, right? A lot of times you hear people say, I'm depressed. And a lot of times people's reaction to that is, oh, there's people all over the world that have it worse than you. And that's a completely horrible way of looking at it. And my reasoning behind that is a lot of times to say, oh, look at these, there's starving children in Africa, right? There's people in Africa that have no water. There's people that lost their family members and shit like that. And the thing with that is, yes, it's awful what's going on in these third world countries where they don't have the things they need in order to live everyday lives. But the thing is, they've been with that their entire life, right? They never had to adjust to it. They've known that their entire life. They've known nothing but struggling and not having enough food or water or family members dying of diseases. That's all they've ever known. They've never gotten a taste of what happiness is like, right? And again, like I said, I'm not trying to cover up the fact that what's happening there is awful, but the thing is, here in America and other more developed countries, a lot of times these people that are in depression, the reason they're depressed is because they've felt happiness before. They felt what it's like to have joy and to have good things in their life. And then when those things are taken from them, that's when they start to feel depressed. As compared to just having nothing in your entire life and just being, I don't want to say miserable, but that's just all you've ever known. You don't know what it's like to be happy. And that's why I feel like a lot of times these people really are depressed. And there's a few reasons why people would get depressed, right? And a lot of times they seem like very minor things to you, but to them it's a huge thing. Whether it be being kicked off a sports team, doing bad in school, something in their love life. A lot of these things, or family problems, right? A lot of these things can factor into someone getting depressed. And being depressed is one of the worst feelings in the world. You wake up every morning with this just feeling in your stomach of just nothing. You don't feel anything except just this constant feeling of sadness. And it's awful to wake up to every morning, I'll tell you that. And you have no motivation to do anything. You don't want to excel in anything. You want to just sit there, lay in bed, or, play video games or something like that. And it's an awful feeling, and it's something you have to get over. And that's the thing. It is fixable. And I'm going to go over some ways that it can be fixed. And I'm also going to go over a few ways that other people fix them that I don't agree with. And I'm going to go over a few of those right now. So the first one that I'm going to kind of tie these two together would be drugs and alcohol, because I think they kind of give people the same effect. A lot of times when people are depressed, they turn to drugs and alcohol. And the thing with that is they're a temporary fix. And they also kind of cause more problems. When you're high on drugs, or, you're drunk after, drinking quite a lot, that can lead you to hurt people or hurt yourself, or, cause pain to yourself or kill yourself. And that's because you've got that feeling of sadness and that, nothing in your life's going right. So then these drinks and drugs are going to impair your thoughts, and they're going to cause you to maybe hurt yourself. So not only that, but they're also just a temporary fix, like I said. It's kind of similar to a broken pipe, right? You just kind of put a piece of duct tape over it or something. That's not going to fix it. Well, it's going to fix it for then, but, a few years down the road, it's going to break again, and that's kind of the problem with that. It's going to make that feeling in your stomach go away, but it's not going to get it completely gone. It's going to just cause more problems down the road. So if you're feeling depressed, you're feeling down, do not turn to drugs and alcohol. I can tell you that. It's not the answer. It's going to seem like a temporary fix, but in the long run, it's not going to help you. It's only going to make things worse. Another thing that people do, and I feel like this is probably the healthiest, I guess, of the bunch, is trying to make everything into a joke. A lot of times, very depressed people, they won't let you know they're depressed, and they kind of turn everything into a joke. Everything with them is being funny and making everyone else laugh and making everyone else feel better about themselves by, telling these jokes. And maybe even sometimes not making people feel better about themselves, maybe just like ripping on someone to make yourself feel a little bit better. But yeah, a lot of times these people that you think are like hysterical, a lot of times on the inside, they're probably the most depressed, to be honest. But that's not really like destroying it or like hurting yourself. But what it is doing is kind of just covering up the fact that you're depressed instead of dealing with it, which is not the way to go to. I'm going to give you guys some fixes later on, but just hiding your feeling of sadness is not the way out either. The last two that I'm going to discuss, again, go together, and those would be cutting yourself or causing yourself injuries and killing yourself. I never understood why, when people were depressed, that they cut themselves. I really don't. And I know I've talked to people about this before, and they say that it helps distract them from the emotional pain they're feeling. And I don't get why, if you're feeling emotional pain, why you'd want to add on physical pain to it. Why you'd want to hurt yourself in order to temporarily fix the problems you're having. I don't see how that helps. That's just adding on, if anything, more problems. And a lot of times when people are depressed, they're not going to want to tell people about that. So when you're cutting yourself, you're going to have these cuts all over your arm, and you're going to have to hide those from people. So not only are you going to have to hide how you're feeling on the inside, but now you're going to have to hide the outside as well. And then the next extreme thing would be suicide. And I guarantee if there was a way to interview people that have killed themselves, 9 times out of 10, they would tell you that they immediately regretted it after they had killed themselves. Because that's not a temporary fix. I can't say that. That's you just ending it completely. That's you thinking that there's no way out, there's no way anything in your life is going to get better, and that you just have to end your life. And that's not the answer either, because there's always stuff you can do to fix it, right? If you don't like the life you're living, don't just end it. Fix what in your life you don't like, right? Whether it be your grades or your love life, just fix those things, because there's always a fix to it. And, it might be hard to go through it, but you're going to have to fix the things in your life that you don't like, not just ending it, because that's not going to fix anything. And it's also going to hurt the people that, that love you, your family, your brothers and sisters, whether it be a girlfriend that you're having trouble with. It's just going to hurt them more than anything else, and maybe even cause them to be depressed. And do you really want to bring that on someone else? No. So some fixes, like I said, you have to be able to talk to someone about these feelings that you have, right? Instead of just hiding it through laughter or hiding it through drugs and alcohol, you need to go out there and you need to find someone that maybe is having similar problems to you, and then you can discuss and vent. I think the best person to speak to would be someone that has an outside perspective. Someone that really doesn't know what kind of problems you're having until you tell them. Or especially someone that isn't involved with one of the problems you're having, right? If you're having trouble with a girl, right, if that's one of the reasons you're depressed, don't go and tell that person how you're feeling, because they're one of the reasons that you're depressed. So they're going to have either like a biased point of view, or you're going to have to hide that aspect. And in order to completely make yourself feel better, you're going to have to tell someone everything. And they're going to have to help you fix all the awful things in your life instead of just killing yourself and temporarily fixing it. So that's all I really wanted to say about that. If you guys are having any of these thoughts, please let me know on Twitter. If I don't follow you, I will follow you, and we could talk maybe in a DM, right? Or on Skype or on Xbox or something. If you just need me to be the outside perspective, I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say, and I'd be more than glad to help you guys. So that's all I really wanted to say about that. Remember to leave a like, and if you're not already subscribed, please do so. And remember to leave down in the comment section below maybe some of your fixes that you've found for depression. That's all the time I have left. Peace.